let me give you the Heritage Minute, as it were, on why maple syrup is important. It's got a huge part of our culture and heritage as a nation. You can track the origins of maple syrup back to the indigenous communities like thousands of years ago, where they would tap during sugar month these trees to get the sweet water. And it was used as a sweetener, and it was used as an anesthetic, believe it or not. It was used as a way to preserve meals during the curing process. And then like eventually it was used in economic trade. So, you know, it's got like it's kind of got a bit of a backstory there. In like the mid 1500s, if you recall, Jacques Cartier and his crew were the first European folks to taste maple sap. And while he's not related to like the Cartier watchmakers and jewelry Cartiers, I believe he had a Rolex, if I'm not mistaken. Actually, any watch Cartier would have owned would have been Cartier.
That's Cartier's watch. You better put it back in the nightstand or he's gonna find out.
No, he probably would have had one of those timepieces. Do they have timepieces? I don't think so. I think they just looked at the sun and they were like, oh, she's about 4:15, eh? So then it was in WW2, the big one, sugar was in great demand. So the Canadian government encouraged people to use maple syrup as a sweetener because it was way more readily available and cheaper, believe it or not, than sugar at the time. You know, war efforts and stuff, right? So the Department of Agriculture, in fact, actually put out a whole recipe book on how to cook and bake with maple syrup in lieu of sugar. And then, you know, Canadians were like, friggin' A, bud, this stuff's all right. In fact, funny thing is, maple sugaring companies actually changed their name to maple cream companies because they wanted to avoid any sort of tariffs and taxes. So they called it maple cream instead of maple sugar, and then there was no like knocking at the door saying,
You said something about sugar?
I'm gonna need a bowl of sugar. Men in Black.